welcome to Not Your Average Podcast again, and this is episode 7, and today I have someone I wanted to bring on that I believe is a really creative person in the sports world that I really look up to. His name is Brent Butler, also known as Blizz Flicks on social media, which most people probably know him as. Would you like to introduce yourself today?
How's it going, guys? First and foremost, thank you for having me today, Andy. This is, cool just to be on a podcast and be able to chat about just the creative world and the sports world in general. Like you said, my name is Brent Butler. Go by Blizz Flicks or Blizz on Instagram. I am in the sports world, but I shoot a lot of everything. So that's the best part about it.
Yeah. And then, since this is primarily a sports podcast, I wanted to talk mostly about the sports stuff, but I'll dive into the other stuff too.
Gotcha.
But my first question is, did you grow up watching or playing sports, and what did you play?
Yes, I grew up watching and playing. I played just about not almost every sport, but my mother had me in football, basketball, baseball, golfing, and wrestling. So definitely been a part of my life. Sports has been a part of my life for a long time.
Yeah. And then, were there any major influences in your early childhood in sports? I know you
Uh,
mentioned your mom just then.
yes, my mom was a diehard football fan. She loved the Cowboys, but she also was a wrestling fan. But when it came to football, that was her number one sport, and so I kind of took that on. My uncle, he kind of embraced on the challenge of training me, at an early age, and so I took that on and just adapted to that, and eventually led to me playing college football.
Yep. And then I wanted to talk about you went to Emory and Henry University, right? Is that correct?
Yes, I started at Concord University, and I did a
Okay.
gap year, and where I'd entered a gap year where I started photography and then finished off at Emory Henry. Yes,
Okay. And were you a student athlete at both schools you were at?
yes, yes. Played football. I was a walk-on at Concord. Earned my scholarship my sophomore year, and then once I got to Emory Henry, became a scholarship player there as well.
Oh, nice, nice. Was both experiences very different from each other? Would you say?
Uh, yes and no. They both were small schools. So I didn't have a problem with navigating around, getting to class, communicating with my professors, and then just me in general. I get along with everybody, so being able to communicate and conversate and talk to everyone, that was a plus for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with how you say you're easy to get along with people because we met and we started chatting up pretty fast, actually, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
that's how you have to, man. When you meet new people, just got to
Yeah,
be able to socialize.
that's for sure. That's for sure. And you said during your gap year you picked up doing photography. Was that your first time picking up a camera, or did you pick it up before that by
Um,
any
I,
chance?
I picked it up in high school, 2018. I did yearbook class my senior year, and I was one of the photographers for that. So being able to capture, just cool moments from a volleyball game to a basketball game, or whether it's just a simple self-portrait of somebody smiling or celebrating homecoming, that was cool to me. But yes, during my gap year, I did a gap year. My mother was sick, so I came home and looked after her and the, I was looking at cameras and I was just like, man, I'm gonna get a camera, and it was just my escape from that. And so I would walk the streets. It was COVID at the time, so I would walk the streets of downtown Roanoke, and shoot anything really. And then once I got to Emory and Henry, I volunteered. I asked one of my professors, his name is Brent, same name as me, which is cool. I asked him if I could join the athletics team. He was running it at the time, and he said, yeah. And it just became a work study, and that's really what started.
Nice, nice. Just curious, what camera did you pick up during the COVID?
My first camera was a Nikon Z6, the first
Okay,
version.
okay, nice, nice. And then to follow up that, what is your go-to camera setup now, currently?
So my camera setup that I have now is a Sony A7 III. It is my pride and joy of my baby. It is not really a video camera, but I've started to dive into the video world. So got some new things possibly coming on the way. Just to elevate that. Just to be a hybrid shooter. I feel like it's time to also show my video work and get that out there as well.
Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair. Then I wanted to talk about like after college, what was your plan after college, specifically with this camera stuff, or did you want to continue being a student or athlete?
So I wouldn't say I already had a plan B, but after going through some things that I went through in life, I had to mature at an early age compared to others, and so I knew football wasn't going to last forever, but I was good in football. I was a 5 year starter, which was a cool thing, especially being a walk on. So I enjoyed football. I was good at it. I put in the time and effort, but at the same time, photography was something that I knew I wanted to do outside of football. Just being able to being able to have my own little community like around me, support me at Emory Henry. That was really what kind of motivated me to keep going because I saw that my peers, they loved what I was doing, and I was actually, like doing a good thing because we didn't really have photographers at Emory Henry. We were D2, small school, middle of nowhere, and so being able to provide that for other athletes because as an athlete you want those pictures, you want to post that picture on Instagram,
Yeah.
be cool for your, like, you just want to post that, and so being able to do that just made me love that. And so while I was in college, I was putting myself out there. I had the opportunity of shooting the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas, and then I also had the opportunity of shooting Women's March Madness at Virginia Tech. So it's just I knew at that point I was like, yeah, if I'm doing this, I might as well just put my all into photography, and that's what I did.
Yeah, that's fair. Were you at Emory Henry when it was D2, or because I know they went through a transition phase from
Yes.
Division 3 to Division
So
2, right?
I was there during the transition phase, and then 2 years of D2.
Okay, nice, nice. Then I wanted to talk about your what your work is in Roanoke, since you're pretty well known here. I wanted to specifically talk about.
I wouldn't say pretty well now,
Yeah,
but
well, I would consider you pretty well known in my opinion, but I wanted to talk about first about your experiences with Hoop Love Academy and what you specifically do for them and what your part of it is.
yeah. So Hoop Love Academy was something that was brought upon me from my cousin. They went to him and Coach Mack went to school together, and so he reached out to me about it. Coach Mack reached out. And he just threw the opportunity on me, and at that time, I didn't really have anything solid besides an internship at the Salem Red Sox that I was doing while I was in school. And so I started with Hoop Love in 2023 as just, making little highlights, taking pictures for them, helping out with social media in any way I could. And then we started this segment called Blizz Talks, where, we interview basketball athletes, in the area that are, on the rise or graduating and just giving them that exposure to the social media life and to coaches that may follow Hoop Love and may be interested in that kid just by how they carry themselves from the interview.
Yeah, that's fair. I think one of my favorite interviews I've seen was from you interviewing that dude that went to Roanoke College and now is playing professional ball in Germany. That
Casey,
dude. Yeah, I forgot his name, but
yeah, Casey Draper.
it was a good interview. I like that one the most
He
so
said
far.
that
Yeah,
was my guy. We went to Northside just like me. He's a state
yeah,
champion there, so it was
nice.
cool to see him do those great things.
Did you go to school with him at the same time?
Yes, but he was younger than me. So he
Okay,
graduated, I want to say 2019 or 2020. He was with that state championship. He was with
okay,
Pope's state championship class after Nick Price and him graduated.
okay, nice. And did you see the potential in him during that time and
Of course,
believe
because
in
he
him?
was he was starting as a freshman.
Okay,
So
okay. Oh, nice.
he
Yeah,
was starting as a freshman, so he
yeah,
already had that unlocked.
yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Then, what is your experience like being on staff? I believe you're on staff with the Salem Red Sox, right?
Yes, so I am the team photographer there. I started there as an internship. Most internships are somewhat pricey if you don't have that support. And so it was an opportunity that was close to home for me, and I needed the hours. And so I spent 2 years as an internship because I was a double major at Emory Henry with sports management and then the digital media side.
Yeah.
So I did 2 summers there as an intern, and then I was promoted to the team photographer. And so
And what was your internship title specifically there?
promotion slash social media intern. Well, photography as well because I was able to take pictures here and there, but not as much as I am now.
Uh, that's fair. And I assume your role now is just mainly taking photos for the team, right?
Yes, photos and then some stuff. outside events like parades, picnics, anything we do outside in the area and the community.
That's pretty cool. Then, if I'm not mistaken, there's another photographer on staff, right? Is that correct? Or am I wrong with that? So,
Um, so we have some other like interns that who just graduated, and
oh,
they're off to take. Another one is Mary, Mary Inc. I want to say, I hope I'm not butchering her last name, Mary Rink, but it's Mary JPEG dot four, I believe, on Instagram. She is
okay.
amazing, bro. She's going to
Yeah,
Virginia Tech. She's going to be doing all the Hokies things, and it's just cool because for her to be in high school, she has so much experience. So if you do get the chance to
oh,
interview
wow.
her,
Yeah,
definitely chat with her because she
yeah.
has a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I've seen some of her work. I didn't actually know she was in high school. That's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
so she just graduated this year. That's crazy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that is impressive because I always thought she might have been like an adult doing this on the side
Nah, nah.
or
So
anything.
she does like she also runs the big camera at the Royal Yard Dogs, and then she does it
Oh,
also at the Salem Red Sox here and there. So she goes back and
oh,
forth from
nice.
promotions to running the big camera to doing her own thing. So she
Oh,
shoots
like
on. What were you saying? My fault. I'm sorry.
like broadcast, right?
Yep. So she does the broadcasting at times, like the
Okay,
games and stuff. But then sometimes she's taking pictures. She shoots on the Sony A7 III as well.
nice, nice. And then how about I follow up with this? Does your lens of choice differ from using you use at Hoop Love versus Salem Red Sox?
Um, yes, because as Hoop Love, I'm mainly using my 24 to 70.
Mm-hmm.
At the Salem Red Sox, I'm using a bit of all three. Well, I use three lenses when I'm at the Salem Red Sox. I use my 24 to 70, my 70 to 200, and then I use my 150 to 600.
Okay,
The
nice.
150 to 600, it's amazing during the daytime, but once there's low light, it sometimes is it doesn't
Yeah,
really attract that light as much, if that makes sense.
yeah, that makes sense. I assume it's a variable aperture, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And then I was gonna ask, what other sports have you shot, and what are some of your favorite sports to shoot outside of baseball and basketball that we talked
Um,
about?
so I guess I would say baseball and basketball are kind of my strong suit just because of me being a football player at the time when I was at Emory, I wasn't able to shoot as much football. Um, Swimming is fun. I shot swimming. I've shot track. I have shot soccer. I've shot what else have I shot? Softball. I love shooting softball. Um, other than baseball, soccer is a fast-paced sport. I've shot hockey. Hockey is a fast-paced sport as well. Hockey was fun though because there's a lot of excitement in hockey and a lot of emotion from the fans to. Hold on, sorry, there's a truck. My apologies, but
No, it's all good. It's all good.
hockey has a lot of emotions from the fans to just the fighting and the action, the mascots, and I feel like hockey would probably be like if I could shoot any other sport as much as I do baseball, probably hockey. But I do love basketball as well too. You can't go wrong with shooting basketball. Like
Yeah,
you already know.
yeah, that's where we met at a Radford basketball game. Which,
Basketball is just
yeah,
like you, you have to enjoy shooting basketball. You can't hate it.
yeah, it's personally my favorite sport to shoot. But that's why you see me a lot at Radford basketball shooting for them.
You went to
Yeah,
Rapper, right?
yeah, I
Okay.
did go to Radford and graduated there.
Okay. What year did you graduate from Rapper?
2023,
Okay, so same
May of
years.
2023.
Okay, so same year as me. I graduated
Yeah,
in May of 2023.
yeah, nice, nice. And then what else was there? And you did mention shooting for March Madness. I just wanted to elaborate. How did you get those opportunities, and how was that experience since it was so fast paced and high turnaround
Uh,
for those?
so at the time, during that time, I believe it was 2023. So Notre Dame and Virginia Tech. I was able to snag credentials to that game when they both were ranked. I think Virginia Tech was number six and Notre Dame was number four at the time. Olivia Miles was doing her thing, and that's when Tech had Coach Brooks. They had the tall girl. What was her name? 33. She got drafted to the Las Vegas Aces. Is
Oh,
it
Kitley, right?
Elizabeth Kitley?
Yeah, Elizabeth Kitley,
Yeah,
I
they had
believe.
Elizabeth. They had some ballers, and then
Yeah,
so I got credentials to shoot that game. I found the guy on the internet and I emailed him. And then I went up there for Emory and Henry. I had the weekend off of spring ball. I went up to the game and I shot the game. And next thing you know, I kept getting emails, about more games, and I emailed him, and I was like, "How can I get approved for March Madness?" And he basically sent me the link. He was like, "Here, you can apply for this link." Email Brent Wells. Brent Wells at the time was, I want to say, a WDBJ 7 reporter in Roanoke before he made the
Okay.
transition up to tech. And so I emailed him, and he said, "Sure." And they gave me the go ahead to go shoot first round and second round, and they were, I want to say it was South Dakota. No, it was South Dakota, USC, Chattanooga, and Tech. And those were the four teams, women teams. And Tech took it all to go on to play. I believe Tech went to the Final Four that year, if I'm not mistaken. Where they
Oh,
lost to
okay.
LSU. That was the year they lost to LSU.
Oh, nice. Was that the team that LSU won the national championship with that year?
I want to say yes. Before
Okay,
they before they got Haley.
yeah, that was a tough team then.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see. Yeah,
that. But at the same time, Tech probably had never played SEC ball until a
yeah,
Final Four appearance like that.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Then I want to talk about how did you get connected and how did you start doing work with NFL star and Aaron Jones?
So what a lot of people don't know is that our mothers were childhood best friends, and still remain best friends till this. Well, my mother passed away in 2020, so they were best friends all the way up until then. So I've known Aaron all my life, been around him. They grew up in a military household, so they traveled a lot. But my mom lived in Virginia Beach at the time when they were stationed. When my godmom was stationed in Virginia Beach, and so I would always go down there and see them and stay with them. And so I was younger then, but they were still playing football, and so at the time, I wasn't doing photography. But as I got older, went to school, we stayed in touch. But as I got stronger with the camera, I kind of hit him up, and I was just like, man, is it cool if I tag along?
Yeah,
And, our god sister Chelsea, well, their sister, but my god sister Chelsea, and my real sister Chelsea, she runs a foundation. She was just like, would you like to help us be a part? Be a part of it, take pictures for it. And I was just like, yeah, I want to be a part of it. And so, I just kind of took advantage of that starting in 2020, no, 2021. And so, gradually from 2021, I go out every summer to El Paso and help out with the foundation. And then, possibly get to tag along with some other extracurricular things and just catch behind the scenes, such as a PSD underwear photo shoot,
okay.
an Adidas photo shoot, just being able to capture those behind the scenes and study those things because in my mind, I'm like, I can do these things. And so all that stuff is just motivating for me to be able to see what goes on behind the scenes because I want to be a photographer of a shoot like that one day, and it will happen. And so just being able to already see it and kind of just foreshadow myself in that position, just for the future, just when that moment comes, I'll be ready, prepared because I wouldn't say I put myself, but with these opportunities, I've just been able to set myself up for a cool future with the camera.
Yeah, that's fair. And when you say the foundation, are you talking about the ANA All the Way Foundation specifically?
Yes, so the ANA All the Way Foundation, initial basically, after Alvin and Aaron. And so it's a foundation that they started, I want to say while they were in college. My godfather, Mr. Alvin Sr., has always been, a giver and someone who gave back to his community. And so Aaron and Alvin just cherished that and giving back to the Paso community and the wherever community really, because he gave back, to the Wisconsin community. He does a shoe drive almost every year where he donates shoes to whether it's here in this area, this state, and giving back is what it's all about. And, he's a man of his word. So that foundation kind of shows that. And this summer was a big summer for them. They had a whole weekend full of activities, such as poker to golfing, and then a camp where they joined with one of his old college teammates, who is also still in the league. He plays for Arizona Cardinals right now. His name's Will Hernandez. And so he's offensive lineman, and then his foundation, Miho Things, they joined on and they just, formed the A&A, the Miho Way camp this year, which I want to say had over 1,500 kids there. So it was a big camp,
Yeah.
a very big camp, which was cool to see because every camp has been big, but this camp was huge this year. And it was cool to be a part of that and connect and network with so many cool people, and just to add to my my portfolio of networks and connections, just to set myself up for the future because you never know where you could be at, who you could run into, and be like, oh, we've met before, or we've
Yeah.
already could have been in contact. You know.
Yeah, for sure. And for sure. And when you growing up, did you always see Aaron Jones as a guy that could make it to the league and do big things in life?
Oh, for sure. Yes. Going to a school like UTEP and just shining and grinding and making the most of his opportunities is what you're supposed to do. Him and his brother Alvin, my other brother Alvin, they both were dominant superstars in college. I mean, well, in high school, they played quarterback, running back to linebacker. They basically played almost every position.
Oh,
What
wow.
some people don't know is that they were two sport athletes in college. They both played basketball and football. Alvin was also the starting middle linebacker for UTEP, while Aaron was the starting running back. So you had both of them on both sides of the ball just going crazy, making things happen.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And then just to move on from that, do you ever feel like you're a large fish in a small pond? And especially since Southwest Virginia is a pretty small area, and the sports world isn't as big as some other cities in the U.S.
Uh, I guess like the large fish in a small pond. I get what you're saying. I wouldn't say I'm a big name. Um, I don't really do it for that fame or so. I just do it for my love for the photography. And so being able to give back to my community with my camera, it's a surreal feeling. And just I know that that'll in general just take me places because I have a good reputation in the area. People know me outside of the photography world for just the person that I am. So being able to do that in Southwest Virginia, where I'm from, is an amazing feeling. And now I'm trying to get that outside of Southwest Virginia and make Blizz Flicks known global, worldwide.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And then, what are some dream athletes, teams, leagues, or brands you would like to work with in the near future?
Um, as far as brands, any brand really, such as Nike, Adidas, any brand that'll give me an opportunity. Any team that'll give me an opportunity is really. I wouldn't say I have a dream team. It's really just about that opportunity when your time comes. Whenever God says it's that time, I'm
Yeah,
prepared. Most definitely, I'm ready for it. So I don't really say have a particular team or a brand or a athlete that I really want to work with. I want the opportunity whenever the opportunity comes.
yeah, yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Because I remember a previous conversation we had where you mentioned you wanted to possibly move from Southwest Virginia and expand your network and do more in your creative world. And
Yeah.
just curious, like, what other places have you thought of moving to
Uh,
expand yourself?
maybe North Carolina,
Okay.
maybe Florida, Texas. So many options.
Yeah.
Just somewhere, where you're closer to, maybe those professional teams. 'Cause I'm not gonna say we don't have many professional teams near Roanoke, but Charlotte's 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Washington's 4 hours away. Baltimore is 5 hours away. Atlanta's seven. So just somewhere closer in those vicinities where there are more professional teams and opportunities. But at the same time, I don't mind hopping on the plane and taking advantage of the
Yeah.
opportunity as a freelancer because there's
Yeah.
always
That's
opportunities as a freelancer.
yeah, for sure.
But
For sure.
speaking of big moves, don't you have a big move, sir?
Yeah.
See,
I actually do have a big move.
yeah, man, go ahead and tell the people where you're
Yeah.
going. I know you already
Well,
told them, but let's hear it,
well,
man.
well. I didn't want to toot my own horn or anything. I just wanted to mostly interview you today. But I am moving to Philadelphia and going to LaSalle as a graduate assistant in athletics, shooting sports, and doing video for them. Pretty
No,
much
bro, that's dope.
following, yeah, pretty much following the Radford men's basketball coaching staff. Pretty much, the assistant coach reached out to me, gave me a reference, and I was like, why not? why not apply and see where that takes me?
Hey, bro, take advantage of
Yeah,
those opportunities. They value you, and so, like I
yeah,
said, bro, that's just that timing, that opportunity. Getting making it happen, bro. You putting in work, and now it's just
yeah,
time to keep doing it, man. No turning back now, bro. The doors are
yeah.
open, and Andy, congratulations,
Yeah,
bro.
I appreciate it.
Of course, man.
Yeah, when I initially heard about it, I was sort of nervous about it, but then I took some time to think about it. It was like I don't want to lose these connections, especially with good people that I met in the past year or two. So it's like let's just keep it up.
And you belong in this world, bro. Don't let
Yeah,
anybody ever tell you you don't, bro. You belong in
yeah,
this world, bro.
appreciate it.
Of
I was
course,
gonna
man.
say you're probably one of the most positive creatives I've met in this world so far.
I try to be, bro. I
Yeah,
try to be, but I do try to keep it as real as possible. And
yeah,
sometimes, that could stir people the wrong way, but it's never about out of disrespect. I will say that. I'm a brutally honest person. Um, and in this world, you have to be able to take constructive criticism because sometimes it's needed. And when you receive that constructive criticism, it's all about how just take that information and just turn it into positive, aspirations. Because
yeah,
everybody's going to face adversity in this world. Everybody's going to be criticized. It's all about what you make out of it. And so I try to be truthful and positive as much as possible because there's really no handouts in this field unless you just know somebody that knows somebody, right?
yeah, yeah. That's fair. I think a lot of people fail to realize how hard it is to do this
Oh yeah.
grind. Like it's not about just taking the best photos, no, or not just about like oh this got like 1,000 views or something plus views. It's about who you know sometimes being the best person to be around and how hard you're working too on top of everything.
It's a lot of time that goes into this, a lot of hard work, sweat, tears. I wouldn't say blood, maybe some blood, and maybe
Yeah,
carrying equipment, but
yeah,
definitely some sweat and tears, man. A lot
yeah,
of hard work, and it's just all about staying consistent.
yeah.
Staying
I think
consistent.
I think you probably understand this too. All the free hours you spend doing this grind, like not getting paid just because it's your
Facts.
passion at the end of the day.
I will say though, don't forget to. I know that this is something that people love to do, but don't forget to take time out for yourself.
Yeah,
Hobbies outside of being a creator. One of my favorite things to do outside of photography is golfing. I golf as much as I can when I'm not taking pictures, and it just gives me, that feeling of knowing that I know that photography is something I enjoy doing, and I enjoy it. It's my life, but I don't want it to take over of my whole life.
yeah,
I want to also have free time and be able to make time for others and the other things that I love.
yeah. That's totally fair. Like I find it hard to like balance it out sometimes, especially during like
Oh yeah, for sure,
the
bro.
season, like especially during basketball season. I was shooting like every week. It was a lot of hours.
Especially like with baseball, we would do
Yeah,
6 games a week. So Tuesday to Sunday when the Red Sox are at home, I'm there from maybe 1 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and then Sundays I'm there from maybe 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So it's long days, a
yeah,
lot of editing, but I love it. That's the process. I
yeah,
will say though, the Red Sox is kind of just me. I will say I am ready to join like that team feeling, and not saying that it's not a team feeling at the Red Sox, which it is, but like I'm ready to just be a part of a team of other creators for a sports team or college,
yeah,
and just being able to support others and show that positivity and learn because there's still so much more to learn that I feel like I need to know
yeah,
or can still learn. So that's really all I've been focusing on lately is just learning so much more and pushing more workout, less overthinking and more shooting and more posting. 'Cause sometimes I tend to overthink a lot in this field, especially with the
yeah,
videos. Like I want my videos to look clear, clean. So sometimes I
yeah,
overthink that, but it's like there's no point in overthinking. Just put that work out there because you never know who will see it and who will like it. Really.
yeah. That's for sure. Like I'm trying to think like when I go to LaSalle, like my biggest goal is to always learn from someone that I believe is better than me and just dive into their mind and grow myself.
Got you. For sure,
Yeah,
definitely. And as you should, bro, because as you go to LaSalle, all you're going to do is continue to meet more people And then,
Yeah.
bro, you know what's in Philly? You got the
What?
you got the Phillies, you got the 76ers, you got the
Yeah.
Eagles. Bro, it's so many other opportunities. And you could talk
Yeah.
to one person one day and that could lead to you shooting a Philadelphia Eagles game, a
Yeah.
76ers game. So it's like
For sure.
definitely take advantage of that opportunity, bro, because the only way is up now for you, bro. The sky's the limit, bro.
Yeah.
Like you're
Appreciate it.
doing it, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations, bro.
Yeah. Thank you. And there's something in my major I'm doing, which I'm taking strategic communications. There's
Gotcha.
a course where I can actually do internship, and my professor told me I can actually intern with some of these sports teams if there's openings, which is even
See?
better. Yeah.
Bruh.
I'm yeah, which I'm really excited for.
See, bro.
Yeah.
That's cool, bro. You're really about
Yeah.
to do some cool things, bro. You're about to open so many doors for yourself. And like, bro, keep doing it, Andy. That's what's up,
Yeah.
bro.
Appreciate it.
Of
Appreciate it.
course, bro.
Yep. And then I I know in the past you talked about maybe shooting your own vlogs and stuff.
Yeah.
How I was gonna say, have you started doing that, or
Uh,
have you considered to move on from
so
it?
this summer, I actually have been doing like some little vlogs.
Okay.
I don't want to spill the tea, but I might have a little vlog dropping here soon, some behind the scenes action.
Okay. Nice.
Something cool that I usually do pictures at, but this year I decided to do videos, and so I might post that on Instagram and YouTube. But I do have a
Yeah.
little mini vlog coming soon, just about the summer really.
Yeah. Okay.
It's been a summer of cool destinations and locations and experiences. From Miami to El Paso to California. It's been some cool experiences. So I definitely have a lot to share with the world soon. So definitely will be posting a mini vlog soon for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it because ever since you told me that, I've been like amped up to see what kind of content you bring up.
I just had to,
Especially,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
what were you saying? I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying like, especially since you like told me previously, like you watch content like Jordan Jimenez content and stuff like he
A
vlogs
lot.
and does and shoots. So I was like, maybe you get inspiration from him because I also get inspiration from him at times too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I do the similar things as him, as much as he travels with Jordan Poole, but being able to tag along with Aaron and use my camera and just capture those moments, it's inspiration. I wouldn't say it's inspirational, but it's inspiring to me because I eventually want to be at that level with my photography and live like that, and just also still be so laid back. And I wouldn't say live like that. I take that back. I don't want to have it all. I don't want to have it all. I just want to be able to be stable,
yeah,
provide.
yeah,
And I know I'll be able to do that with the camera. The camera will definitely lead me to that. You know, and I thank Aaron so much because Aaron doesn't have to do that. But he
yeah,
gives me, that opportunity to tag along and make the most of these opportunities in more ways than he knows. And it's kind of looking out. And so at the same time, I'm just utilizing that connection as well for for my future because I know I'm capable of doing great things in the sports world. And I just know utilizing your networks is
yeah.
very important.
Yeah, that's fair. Like one advice I would give like younger like creatives is like meet people, connect with them, make meaningful connections, and then do good work for them too. You never know what the work can give you, what they
Especially
can provide for you.
and like with through Aaron, I've been able to meet other NFL players, and I've been able to shoot camps for one of his old teammates, Tyler Goodson, who now plays for the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, nice.
And so I was able to shoot his camp, and then I also shot one of his old teammates' camps. I want to say his name was Sherman. Sherman, it was Sherman something, but Sherman plays for the Seattle Seahawks, but this is a camp in Florida. So just being able to add those connections and add those to my portfolio is another cool opportunity. And then also well, I'm gonna let this truck drive by.
Okay, no, no
Sorry
worries,
about
no worries,
that.
and then no worries, no
And
worries.
also just like with the B Robinson camp. So the group Flexwork, Aaron did some camps for them, but Flexwork reached out to me from that connection and just asked me if I wanted to be a part of that B Robinson camp. So that's kind of how I got that
Oh yeah,
connection. And so that was cool to be a part of that in my area. Not many NFL players or superstars in general come back to this area and get back. Not even the ones that are from the area. And you'd be surprised how many are from our area.
yeah. There's a lot more than I realized like in the past year I
Oh
realized
yeah,
we had
bro. We got a lot of
like
athletes here.
yeah, it's almost crazy to think about how small town, but a good handful of athletes coming from
Oh
Roanoke
yeah.
or Salem or anywhere, just going to professionals. Then my next question is it cool to think about like with the Salem Red Sox? You've seen players like start from single A baseball to go into professionals. Like just recently, I think I forgot his name, but because it was a long name, but a dude that went from Salem Red Sox to the Boston Red Sox now playing for them. Is that pretty
Marcelo
cool?
Meyer. We got Marcelo, Duran, Roman Anthony. So I've seen a lot of guys like Blaze Jordan who just got traded. Blaze Jordan was at the Salem Red Sox.
Oh no,
Marcelo was at the Salem Red Sox. Now he's playing in the big leagues. I've been able to see Zach Kelly, who's from Roanoke, but went to Lower Botetourt, who's also a Boston Red Sox pitcher.
yeah,
Um, just been able to see a lot of cool athletes, and it's cool because a lot of those guys are either younger than me or the same age as me. So some of our conversations are somewhat relatable just at being the same age. And what people don't realize, yeah, these guys might be star athletes, but they're still people, normal people just like us at the end of the day. That
yeah,
money, that fame, that does not, you know, justify them as a person. And I think a lot of people get that confused in the world. These athletes are normal humans, just like we are, and they do normal stuff like we do. They chill in the house. They do what we do. Play the game all day. They chill,
yeah,
just like
yeah,
like that's what people don't understand.
yeah. I was gonna say that's people I think get like starstruck sometimes and just look at them and go like, oh, they're making millions of dollars or they're doing bigger and better things like I always wish I was doing, and then
And that's not
forget
even
that.
the case.
Yeah,
And
or
it's so
just
much.
forget.
My fault. What were you saying?
I was saying like they just forget like, oh, they eat, sleep, and breathe and just do everything else and try to survive the world just as much as we are.
But they don't realize they had to put in that work to be where they're at. There's a whole
Yeah.
lot of work put in, a whole lot of consistency.
Yep. And then, what advice would you give aspiring sport creatives like high schoolers or college kids trying to get to where you want to be at or where you are at one day?
Um, One thing I will say is for young, content creators who are just starting, while you're starting, I want you to just focus. I want you to pay attention or realize or just sit with yourself as to why you're doing it. Are you doing it for, popularity for your friends? Are you doing it to look cool? Are you doing it, for you or just because you're passionate about sports? Because this field is tough, and you're gonna run into people who might not say a word to you, who might not even like you just because you're there and they feel like you don't need to be there or you're in the way and stuff like that. I want you to realize, like, I want you to know why you do it. Because photography is it's an investment and it's an expensive hobby if you want to really take it serious. Um, and you're not just spending the money because once you spend that dime on this lens, that camera, you better use it. And I'm talking about use it to the fullest.
Yeah.
But definitely be able to socialize and carry yourself with a positive attitude. Never be afraid to talk to anyone. People might not reply back to you, but they will at some point in time. Stay
Yeah.
patient, for sure. Stay patient for most. Stay patient. Try not to overthink as much because eventually, you're going to be confident in this field, and it's all about confidence and it's knowing yourself and knowing why you do this, and always being able to communicate and conversate and socialize because you're going to network and meet so many people who want to communicate with you after that one conversation based on how that interaction goes. Really.
I was gonna say like even our interactions led us to shooting this podcast episode that
Exactly.
yeah, which is pretty cool. Like just to think about like just one little interaction we had at a basketball game at Bradford University just led us all the way months later to talking, chatting up, and me learning more about you. Yeah, which
Which is a good
then
thing, and that's what it's all about. Sorry, it was delayed on my end, but that's what it's all about. Connecting and networking because you never know who you could be sitting next to, taking pictures at a game. You could be sitting next to a boss or a supervisor of this company who may be looking for photographers, videographers. You never know what that
Yep.
could lead to.
Yep. Then outside of sports, what do you typically shoot?
Really everything, such as events, weddings, portraits, family shootings, media days for sports teams, a lot of everything. Really, I try to shoot as much as I can because there's so much to shoot.
Yeah.
I
Like
sometimes take photo walks when I'm out of town, like I did when I was in California on the beach, just being able to use my
nice.
camera and find creative things in my eye from the not so sportive settings. Because the sports eye and the outside eye is just so different from when it comes to creativity. People don't think photography is art, but it is art. This is an art. It's a skill that you take time to learn and put time into.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I've done like photo walks in around Roanoke and meeting those different photographers. It's so unique. Like some shoot with film or medium format or film cameras or something. It's just so different from what I do on a day to
Exactly.
day basis.
And
Yeah,
there's so much that goes on here that that not many people know about. Like all the festivals and stuff. There's so
yeah,
many cool things. Like I wish people would get out and see it more.
yeah. I agree. I definitely agree. Like I wish like people that want to explore photography would just get out and not be so afraid that people would judge them for doing it. Just because it's like any other thing they do. Like just like going to the gym and working out. It's like don't be afraid to get judged. Just go do it because it's gonna benefit you long term, or you just truly want to do it because
Facts.
you enjoy it.
Get out and go shoot.
Yep. Yep. And let's see. And then what is your like ultimate goal? Is it to work in like professional sports, college athletics, or what not in the
Um,
future?
Man, my ultimate goal, really, with the photography world, is just to leave a legacy of a legacy of cool pictures, amazing pictures, but also amazing conversations to amazing interactions. But also, working for a sports team, being a team photographer for a sports team, head of photography, digital, something like that. But also on my business side, having, that successful business from, maybe one day being a studio photographer as well, have my own studio where I can do those brand shoots. You never know, Nike or somebody may call me, yo, can we use your studio for this brand shoot? So,
Oh yeah,
just being able to make so many things happen with the camera, that's really the ultimate goal. So many positive things and just making a name for myself, a great name. Because Brent Butler is a cool name in my opinion, and I feel like a lot of people are going to know that name in this world.
yeah, that's fair. Then that makes sense. Then my very last question is a little bit related to the St. Red Sox. Are they going through a rebranding in the future too? Right?
So yeah, we will be rebranding after the season. A new name. We don't know it as of right now, so I can't spoil it.
Okay.
I can't spoil it. I hate to be that
Yeah.
guy, but I really don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, but I only asked that because just recently the Rare Dogs also did a rebranding of its
Oh,
own kind.
I
Like they
saw that.
did, yeah, they had a new logo and everything. But on top of that, do you think the St. Louis Red Sox will still be affiliated with the Boston
Oh
Red
yeah, yeah,
Sox?
yeah, yeah, yeah. They'll still be affiliated with Boston.
Okay, nice. And thanks for. I wanted to wrap up this podcast thanking you for coming on and chatting and getting to talk about your story and
Of
what you,
course, man. I thank you. Like I said, I can't thank you enough for having me on here, and thank God just for giving me this opportunity to be able to create in this world, and just know that that's my calling. So I'm just so
yeah,
thankful for that, and I appreciate you, Andy, for having me on here, just being able to talk a bit about being a creative photographer and just connecting and doing everything that you can in this world as a creative.
yeah, appreciate it.